quite a simple question then to you boys. The best four-person bowling attack in the history of Test match cricket. What immediately comes to mind, gents?
So he's going to pick the West Indies in the early 80s.
Yeah, probably good reason to go with that, wouldn't he? You say like that's controversial.
No.
Like, you know, those guys were quite good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Even I know that.
And I would probably lean towards Gillespie, Lee, McGrath, Warne.
Is that because you're Australian and you're
Because
biased?
there's a spinner. That's the big difference for me.
Sure.
Good
That seems
combo,
fair.
that.
Yeah.
Good combo.
You could also put in Lyon, Cummins, Hazelwood, and Stark, I think.
What, of all time, you think?
Best four?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best four-person bowling attacks ever, isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
You wouldn't have that in your best five?
No, I don't think so.
Cummins
Yeah.
and Hazelwood
Yeah. Yeah.
and a 6'7" left armour.
Steady.
Well, Stark isn't steady.
It's the 80s West Indies.
Yeah.
Roberts, Holding, Marshall, Garner.
Did you see Shieldberry's list of the best 30 fast bowlers?
No,
of all
I
time?
did it myself
I haven't
a
seen
week
yours yet.
before.
I'll get to yours in a minute then. I haven't seen yours yet. But he picked Garner as the 27th best fast bowler of all time.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a man who hasn't faced him.
Yeah.
Did you face him, Garner?
Did I?
Yeah. Would you have him as the 27th best?
No. Right. I thought he's going to tread on me, this bloke. Enormous fella.
Yeah.
And his front foot come up like that. As soon as his front foot come up, Christ, he's going to tread on me.
Bumble, just for the younger audience, like myself, just tell us about that quartet and what their strengths were and what made them so good.
So it's Michael Holding, Andy Roberts, Malcolm Marshall, and Joel Garner. So Joel Garner was 6'8", 6'9", an absolute Goliath of a man.
In an era when there weren't a lot of tall fast bowlers like that either.
So he's really big. Michael Holding, known as Whispering Death, he's like a 400-metre runner. He used to glide in with a fantastic action and rapid. I mean, talk about it. Michael Holding would say the daddy of them all was Andy Roberts. He said the daddy of it all, a thinking bowler. And the other thing, none of them said a word. None of them didn't say a word to you. You know, if someone get a bit lippy or like, none of them said anything.
Andy Roberts, just before you get to the last one, Andy Roberts had two bouncers.
Yeah.
You ever seen Jurassic Park? Where the raptors, and there's one raptor that gets your eyes and the other one attacks you. Andy Roberts would bowl you a bouncer that you would see, and you'd hook it or pull it, and you'd think, oh, I'm doing okay, and then you wouldn't see the next one. Ruined a few careers with guys trying to do that.
Have we got a ball? Have we got a ball? Cricket ball? No. So, right. So he'd set the ball, he'd sort of set, and he'd like show it you, Andy Roberts, and the shine would be that side. That it's in your mind, it's going to swing away from a right-handed batter. And in his delivery, he could switch it round.
As he's literally releasing it?
Getting into that, he'd switch it.
And that was happening in the 70s. Cricketers still, there's only like a handful of cricketers who can perfect that now.
I was going to say, does that even happen now? I can't think of ever
so
seeing that.
Boomer can do it. There's a few others.
But does
that
he
can
do often though?
It's hard to do often.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't mentioned what we as spectators and supporters would say is the best ever, Malcolm Marshall. You know, an absolute artist. Great bloke to play against, as they all were. All the four of them were jolly chaps. Andy was such a nice man, as unbelievably quiet. Michael Holding, we all know, what an absolute gent. Joel is, hail fellow, well mate, how you doing? Nice to see you. But Malcolm Marshall was great fun off the field and an absolute artist of working you out and a showman. You know, his little mannerisms, he'd look at you and he'd use the crease quick.
Swung it both ways.
Both ways.
Seamed it as well. And his bouncer, so you had Garner at one end who would get bounce off a normal delivery and you're playing it up here.
But not
at the other
not
end,
quick.
you get a bouncer from Malcolm Marshall and you duck and you can't duck low enough.
How would those guys go in when playing in the subcontinent?
They did.
They'd still be absolutely
they
fine
did
'cause they
really,
can
really
move,
well. You know, in those days as well. There's a lot more draws, so it wasn't like they would win the series. In fact, if you go back to the West Indies record, there's a lot of draws in general. But yeah, some of those. I think Joel Garner. I think he's got one of the most ridiculous records of all time, and I think a lot of that might be also Subcontinent as well. So there's not all of them were good there, but it was enough.
Two Indian batters who did really well in the West Indies, Sunil Gavaskar and Farooq Engineer. against the pace of the West Indies at that time.
But Gavaskar didn't play that much against the lineup that you've just said.
No.
He sort of played just
a
before
little
then.
bit before. It might have been against Wesley Hall, Charlie Griffiths.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Round about then, but it did unbelievably well, Sonny. And Farouk,
He loved it, didn't he?
come on, Farouk. He loved the short ball. He got 96 in a morning session before lunch. 96 on his own.
Not bad, is it?
Fabulous.
And I guess for you, if you want to put forward your Aussie argument, I guess the big point of difference is that team had a spinner who wasn't too bad, was
Oh,
he?
yeah, that's a good lineup, that. I'll give you that.
Glenn McGrath's probably the best new ball bowler that's
In the
ever
history of the game.
I think so, yeah. Gillespie, and it's hard because a lot of people in England remember Gillespie from 05. If you go back to 97, he was probably almost the fastest bowler in the world outside of,
Whippy actor.
And moved it. So he was impossible to play at his best. Brett Lee, second or third fastest bowler, clocked for a long period of time. And then the other bloke, Shane Warne. Like it's a pretty good attack, and it's slightly more varied. And you've also got, if you want to make other options, there was a couple of other guys that they had as well that came and went.
Fleming.
So Fleming, if Damien Fleming hadn't got injured, I don't know what he would have done in Test cricket because
Strong bowler, Fleming.
His best ball was about as good as any outswing bowler who's ever bowled before. He could aim the ball down the leg side and take your off stump out, and did that to a lot of English players. But sadly, his body just fell apart. Didn't he? A little bit more whippy as well, and still pretty quick. Fleming.
Quick enough.
Yeah.
Is he close between that team, that attack, and this current Australian attack?
I'm much higher on the current Australian attack than he is. I think I'm not sure where you would fit. I think Pete Gillespie is probably still gets into the current lineup. I'm not sure if they take Brett Lee in the current lineup.
McGrath.
So, McGrath automatically. But I'm saying it's not quite...
Who would Gillespie play? Who's Gillespie better than?
Hey?
Who would Gillespie get in instead of?
I think you'd probably take Gillespie over Stark.
Okay.
Yeah. But you'd obviously take Warne over Lyon. I don't think even Lyon would make that claim.
No, I doubt it. Bumble, the best ever English quartet. What point is they're the best four that played together?
It was 2005 was a perfect storm for England with the attack that they had. The reverse of Simon Jones, the outswing of Matthew Hoggard, the pace of Harmison, and Flintoff was sensational.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really good...
And Ashley Gilo supplemented the whole lot.
I was going to say, because if you bring South Africa into it as well, and you add Callis, they've got some of the best quintets of all time, right? Because they were so deep with their bowling.
Pollock Donald.
Intini.
Intini, a bit of Klusner.
Yeah. And then the next generation
had... a spinner, had they?
They had spinners, but we don't need to. Yeah. We don't need to go to Pat Simcox.
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible, but he was a good bowler. He was a very good bowler for South Africa. But then you have the next generation where you have Steyn and Philander and Morkel.
Yeah, good.
Callis is still bowling at that point as well.
They get no spinner.
Hey?
Yeah.
They've never had a good spinner at the same time they've had good pace bowlers. They have had good spinners in their past.
Statham, Truman, Laker, Locke.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's good.
Obviously Anderson, Broad, Swan, the three all played together. But I guess in that era of that team doing really well, there was never really a fourth one locked in, was there? There was kind of a bit of Bresnan, a bit of Finn,
Weirdly,
a bit of Wokes.
if you look at Broad,
Side bottom,
yeah.
If you look at Broad and Anderson, when they get good, it's kind of when Swan leaves the side.
Yeah, it is.
So it doesn't quite overlap the way you want it.
No.
I mean, New Zealand of recent times with Bolt, Southey, Wagner, and Jameson. That's a pretty good attack, right? You're ticking a lot of boxes off there. So there's a few, there's a few different versions out there. And how do you rate Bumrah, Anderson, Jadeja, Akshar, and I don't know, Siraj, or whoever you want the other seamer to be, or Shami? If Shami was fit, they had some pretty good attacks that Indian side. And again, 5 deep, right? They could really roll a lot deeper than everyone else.
Rolling in the deep.
Yeah. Are you happy though to concede this one to Bumble? Does Bumble's West Indies team just get the edge over you're not letting it go? You think the spinner makes the big difference?
I'll get them to come and bowl at the talkSPORT 11.
I don't think I can face Garner now, if we're being honest.
No, me neither.
I'd love to know who she'll bury, the 26 bowlers he had above Mr. Garner. It's a lot of bowlers, isn't it, to go above Mr. Garner, right?
Yeah. It's.
Who do you have number one out of interest?
He had Bumrah. Did you pick? No, who was it? Was it Vaughan on your podcast?
Vaughan's is the best bowler ever. Yeah. Don't be silly.
You don't seem as shocked that people think Bumrah is the greatest of all time?
I don't think he is yet, but if he keeps doing what he's doing for 3 or 4 years, he will be. But I would have also said that about Waqar Younis, and Waqar Younis didn't keep doing what he did.
You heard of Wazim Akram?
I've heard of him, yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Bumrah number 1. I don't know why. I'm surprised that Shield
Was it?
Berry.
Malcolm Marshall was number 2. Yeah.
Akram must have been up there. Got to be.
He was high. I can't remember where it was. One of the interesting things was he picked Pollock ahead of Stain or Donald.
Right.
which I thought was
I heard
really
that, yeah.
Interesting one. There's a fascinating one.
Interesting fella is Shield.
He is an interesting fella.
We should get him on the show, really, shouldn't we?
We did get him on the show.
Show?
I've done a whole interview with him about it from the test.
no.
Yeah, we did. I
brilliant.
saw that. I saw it.
I was up on the YouTube.
Yeah, he said I was grilling him too much.
Yeah, he did.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Do I grill you when I do this?
You're not a griller.
I'm not a griller.
You're a dapper.
I'm a dapper. There we go. Good stuff.